I've been on self-improvement for a year and a half. I started in August 2022 and it's now January 2024. And within that time, I think I have grown a lot. Obviously, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I can acknowledge my growth and I can be proud of it. And with that being said, I feel like today I have hit a pretty big milestone in that regard mentally. Throughout high school, I had a friend group. When I got out of high school in March of 2022, I left on, I kind of just ghosted, honestly. There was no bad terms though, like we were all cool with each other, right? But I left kind of suddenly, out of nowhere, and I was kind of angry with how things had turned out. With this friend group, I was never really included as much as I wanted to be. Obviously, I could have done more, I could have been more, but that's besides the point. High school was just an awful experience for me, and I attached myself to these individuals. And I think I've finally grown to the point where I kind of don't hold any importance to the relationships and to the events that happened back then. And I feel like that all culminated today. When I turned 19 2 weeks ago, I downloaded Instagram, kind of as like a start of a new chapter for me. I'm not a fan of social media. I've never been one. I can't stress enough about that to the people around me sometimes. They get annoyed by how much crap I talk on social media, especially my girlfriend. But, you know, it is what it is. And in the way that our world is moving, if you don't have social media, you're kind of behind. At least in my opinion. With that being said, I downloaded Instagram on my 19th birthday. I, followed some people who I knew, and they followed me back, obviously. And I had a goal in mind to only have people who I knew and who I liked to be on my followers list. Just because I don't like the fakeness that is Instagram and the comments and all those things. I could get into that on a later note, but a few weeks go by, I have 49 followers, right? It's pretty easy to see who unfollows you at a time, because you only have so much that you can scroll in and out of. And one day I noticed that my followers go down to 48. No big deal, I'm not the type of person to stress over one follower. I mean, I don't even have a lot to begin with, so any that I do have, I cherish. Anyways, it was 48, and I was like, oh, okay. It is what it is. Today, I happen to have a lot of free time within my sets at the gym, and I decided to scroll through them. I have a really good memory. I'm not trying to brag on that, but I do. And I was seeing who might have unfollowed me. Not because I cared, but because I'm curious, And, like eventually it comes to a realization that one of my old friends from high school, one of my closest ones, unfollowed. Not only unfollowed, but he blocked me as well. For privacy reasons, I'll name the friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey unfollowed and blocked me. When I found that out, I was like, when I finally connected dots, I was kind of shocked, honestly. Me and him never really had any problems. We were good friends. He was my closest one there. I would always be by his side, sloughing, skipping class, eating lunch. It was me, him, and another friend. A goal of mine this year is to branch out more and be more social. And, with that being said, I was like, oh, this man was one of my closest friends in high school. I might as well add him, to see if, that relationship could spark again. Because he wasn't really a bad influence on me. He was just there with the same group. So yeah, I added him a few days after my birthday. And then, obviously this happened. And I normally would have freaked out. I would have started texting all of my friends from that old group saying, hey, why did he block me? Why did he block me? I'd even go as far as to text him, even though I know I'm blocked. And I'd try calling him, even though I know I'm blocked. My reaction was actually just like, oh, okay. No big issue on that. And I think that made me realize that I've finally grown away from those attachments that I had made in high school. It was hard, getting out of high school. None of them really tried to keep in touch. Maybe I should have texted them first, but I was in a bad mental state at that point. And I was really just wanting to see who was there for me, honestly. And just them not texting back kind of broke my heart. And ever since then, I've been trying to get that attachment out of my head. I don't need it. It doesn't benefit me at all. And today I think I realized that it's finally paid off. The fact that I didn't really care about it, I didn't really take it personal. I just, it is what it is. And I think a lot of that mentality has to do with my self-improvement habits, and especially with a book I've started to read, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I don't know the agreements in specific order, but I do know that one of the agreements is don't take anything personally. And with that agreement in my mind, it's actually made life a lot more stress-free. And I've realized that I really didn't need to take this personally. And now I feel like that his blocking and unfollowing me has sorry, I lost my train of thought. His blocking and unfollowing of me prompted me to finally acknowledge that, and I just wanted to put that as my first channel, or my first YouTube video on my channel, that no matter how hard you try, no matter how long it is, eventually the things you want to do will happen. I've been wanting to get rid of those attachments for how long, and it's finally concrete. It's finally, happened. A year and a half, 2 years later. I hope it helps. Thank you.